James video with me on a beautiful morning. Hashtag Team All Blade and hashtag No Blade Left Behind. Come on in, throw me a Subie smell, and all I gotta say is squad goals. Thank you so much for being here, for getting into the video, and for joining me. Hopefully wherever you're watching from today, you're drinking something delicious, you're sitting in a comfy chair, and you're ready for a shave. You know I am. I'm so excited. Today is gonna be a special. It's gonna be really fun, and we're gonna be highlighting, debuting, and showcasing the brand new version 2. We're not even calling it the V2. This is the 2.0 winning razor by Yates Precision Manufacturing, being created just down the street from me in Pennsylvania. It's a double-edged safety razor that fully encompasses the blades. It's a blade neutral razor that sets the angle for you as like an autopilot shaver, and absolutely created to top tier specifications and tolerances. It's ergonomic. I love that they kept the magnet in there. You can just see they've taken that original 1.0 design and kind of tweaked every portion of it. We're going to talk about it today, but I am so excited. I am honored, and I am honestly almost speechless at this point. I'm flabbergasted at how excited I am to be able to showcase and spotlight this with the amount of razors that sold out, right? They only had a few, and they sold out within 12 minutes. So I'm thrilled to have the privilege and opportunity to be highlighting and talking about this one today with you on camera. Thank you all for being here. It's going to be fantastic. I can tell you that much. If it's anything like the face shave, oh, it's going to be great. Today, to usher in, right, the festivities, the season, we're going to be adding a little bit of sugar and a little bit of spice to our day. We're going with Gingerbread Man from Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. This is a scent that has not released yet, which kind of has me worried. I'm fingers crossed, hopeful that they'll come out with it again. This one's really fun. It smells like freshly cooked cookies. I don't care who you are. It smells like freshly cooked cookies. Cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, clove, and vanilla. I mean, what else could you want in your morning routine, right? It makes me hungry. It makes me want like biscotti. It wants like gingerbread. I really like this one a lot. Again, from Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements, very gourmand. Like I said, I almost gain weight every time I open this tub up because I want to go eat something delicious. Oh, I love this one again. Really fun label too. I just kind of love that artistic style that Doug takes with these kind of holiday-esque scents. Really fun. The lather today, let's talk about it because it was good. It was really good, and it was developed with this Yaqi professional brush that I haven't seen released yet, so I have no idea, but it finally is broken in, I can tell you that much. It finally is no longer just like ultra stiff. It's developing this beautiful soft plush, luscious fill to it on the skin, and it releases the lather beautifully. Again, you saw me make that lather on the channel with you. I don't know how else I can show you guys. It works so easy, so well, and it just absolutely creates the most hydrated, plush, and really slick lather. Super easy. Love this one again. This is the brand new professional brush from Yaqi, hopefully releasing soon. Fingers crossed, right? Again, I love the way that the color shimmers through the handle. Isn't that cool? Like this one a lot. Beautiful brush. Massive thanks again to Grace for sending that our way. Oh, it's really going to be awesome. Let's do some talking about this razor right here. Everybody that I know personally has either emailed me, texted me, or asked me if we're going to be doing a video on this one. And there's a reason why. This is a razor for me that really shaves comfortably, close, and easily, right? It's an autopilot razor. It's a razor that sets that angle for you, you place it to the skin, and you just go. And because of the way that this razor kind of shaves, and the way you set it to the skin and just go, right? The original one had a little bit of a drag effect, a little suction effect. And what a lot of us did is we went in and polished it, right? And made it so that it's smoother and it glided a little bit better. But what Jake has done, creatively and very smartly, is create these little grooves on the head cap so that it releases the skin and it creates more gap in between your skin and the lather and the actual head cap, so it doesn't get quite as much drag. He's kept the little cutouts on the bar, which I really prefer, right? We saw that Henson, right? Their original design did not do that, and their new design does. You can see it side by side here. When you set them side by side, very interesting how close, right? How close, but how uniquely different Jake has gone with his design. I just really like what he does with his machine shop. Again, family-owned business that puts everything that they have on their design, and I can appreciate that. I like that they're always thinking forward, and this is a razor, right, that was originally being offered by the Wet Shaving Club. It was a design that he was creating for them, essentially in tandem and collaboration collaboration. Well, eventually they sold the business to Jake, right? They sold the company, he got the design, and what Jake did is he listened to the community and said, okay, let's make some modifications. The first one is this is 119, 120-ish grams. This is down to 102. They've created a much more ergonomic handle. You can see this, so much more comfortable in the hand with these extra grooves, and it's actually got that like the America style middle groove here. I know it's available now, all razors, but that handle for me where they grooved it right here is really nice. I like that design so much better than this, right? So much better. I love that they've gone in and kind of curved the base cap, because it just makes it feel nicer when you're doing this. It just feels really nice, not slippery at all, which I really prefer. I actually showed you as I was loading the razor today how nice that feels in the hand. There's no wobble to it. Another thing people mentioned is if you look at the original design, that it had more like gap in between these pegs. So this is a peg system, whereas the Henson system, right, is a bar system. So the peg system, right, people said they weren't getting as much security in the blade and not as much tension in the head cap. For me, I never really noticed it with the V1. The V2, there's no movement in that blade. The way that they've gone in and engineered this peg, it's really tight inside of the head cap. Now, I was able to switch the parts over, right? So I grabbed this piece right here, and I grabbed this piece, and I kind of mixed the parts to see what would happen. I feel like sometimes the best way to like look at a razor is to look at its original counterpart and try to put them together and see what changes have been made, right? The razor does go together. You'll notice the pegs though are a lot like thinner on the original version, first version, and there's a lot more gap in between the base plate and the cap. I think it could still work. You could still probably shave with it, but you're gonna have a lot more movement with the blade just based on the way that the pegs are designed. This new design also has shorter pegs, so when I put it when I switched the parts around, there was a lot more gap in between the original and the new one. So I do feel like they have gone in and redesigned this cap like pretty thoroughly. I can't speak to exacts, but I can tell you that I noticed that there was a significant difference, even though the parts went together. Even with how far the head cap sits forward here. So on the original, if you put it on that base plate, this head cap kind of sits a little bit more far forward, from what I can tell. I don't know how it would shave, but I'd be curious. Let's see how this one does today. It's really nice. Like I said, we've got 72 hours of stubble, and I'm using Wizamet Super Iridiums. Now, the reason I went with the Wizamet Super Iridiums and not the Tatara blades is because I was trying to get something that's pretty efficient because of the original version, right? The original version for me was a razor that I really had to rely on sharp blades to get a good shave. This one for me has so much more like efficiency, and it definitely flows really nicely. I think I would be washing and scrubbing the V1 out constantly if I was trying to go at it with this much growth. This is against the across the grain here, and as you can see, it is just absolutely obliterating. It is obliterating the growth. Incredible. It's a $75 razor right now, and I did hear they're going to be continually making these. This is not a razor that you have to worry about going away. They only made a handful to start off, and they sold out in 12 minutes. So usually manufacturers, companies will tend to produce things that make money, and this is obviously one that has a lot of interest and a lot of desire for, and I think you're gonna see a lot more people jumping to get it. Do you see how it's flowing here? The original one just didn't ever flow that well. Never flowed like that, and I like that this one flows so nicely. I do feel like, and I'm just gonna call this out, I'm gonna be straight up honest, that this one feels like it has more blade fill to it on the skin. I just used the V1, and every time I use the V1, I think to myself, this is just beyond mild. It's so mild that anybody could use this. Well, as I'm using this one, I do feel like there's a little bit more blade fill to it, which I don't hate. I actually kind of enjoy having a razor that shows like, okay, I need to be at this angle, and this is the smoothest part, but it also lets you know you're shaving. If you're to compare it to the 921, I feel like this is a razor that shaves so different, even compared to the 921. It wants to be just at a very, very, very like specific angle, right? It sets that angle for you, whereas the 921 I have a little bit more angle to like fiddle around with. Look at the like segment inside this lather. And I know it's gross. Everyone's like watching this. There's people out there like, oh, why? Don't show us. I want to show you because this razor is flowing so well. The original one would not flow like this. I want to call that out. Another thing that people tended to mention with the original razor is that with the grain stroke, it really didn't do anything. that most people said that you had to go across the grain, and where the real success and real magic happened was against the grain. I do feel like that is still somewhat true. This one definitely shaves with the grain. Now it does shave with the grain, but it's that against the grain and across the grain stroke that really feels super duper smooth, and it just annihilates. Like you can just tell it's getting you really close shaves. It hugs the skin. It really gets like right to the skin and just gives you such a nice shave with that way that it sucks down. It's really nice. I do feel like there's still some kind of very specific feel to it. That is still the case for me. I don't think that people that are like in love with the three-piece design of tradition, right? The curved, like the curved cap, are going to be jumping for this. I just don't think so. It feels very different when you compare this to even some of the vintage safety razors that follow a more standard, like circular cap. I love these modern razors that set this angle. You can see here like this. If I was a person that was just coming into this craft and wanted to try out a safety razor, especially at under $100, and wanted something that I could shave my head with without having any fear of a nick or maybe like an accidental, mistake, this is one that I would heavily recommend looking at personally. Honestly, 100%. This is based on my first shave. Keon, this is my first shave ever. The face shave alone showed me that it was working very nicely, but the dome shave here is where it really shines and highlights some of the things that are being like just so nice. You have to just wonder yourself how in the world they managed to make it better, right? That's the whole thing. How in the world did Jake manage to make this design shine and really shave just like slightly more close, faster, easier than the original without really detracting away from the original's like success points? That is super sweet. Very close, ultra easy. The cap it just gets right next to my ear, so easy. See that? I'm not fighting around my ear at all. Gorgeous. Absolutely phenomenal. And I know I spoke with Jake. This is a razor that I was really worried about missing because of how much demand there is. And I wanted to show it on our channel. I was very excited when this released because it's a razor that I've loved for years. And I reached out to Jake and I said, I would love to, are you doing any pre-releases for people doing channel content? I'd love to buy one. I'm worried about missing it. I am terrified that I'm not going to be able to beat everybody else's bots, the purchase bots, and that I won't be able to showcase it on our channel, which is really what I wanted to do. I wanted to show everybody how well it shaved and how cool it is, and kind of give him a massive amount of awareness. You know what I mean? I wanted him to have the public presence that he deserves with this incredible design. And he was like, "Don't worry about it. I'll get you one." And I said, "No, I don't mind supporting the brand. I bought my 921. I like supporting the brand." He goes, "No, don't worry. We'll make sure that we'll set one aside for you." So I just want to give him a huge thanks and a massive shout out for not only enabling us to do the content here, but for specifically setting one aside so that we could share and showcase and highlight. I love this razor so much, and I think it definitely still embodies the original V1's kind of success, like the things that I loved about it, but then adds just a few niceties that, with the grain stroke being a little bit more efficient, makes it so that people that are coming into the craft can practice that 3-pass kind of concept and not worry and wonder if it's actually working, right? Sometimes with those razors that don't shave with the grain, right, with this stroke like this, that people think they're doing something wrong. And I like that this one shaves with the grain. Unlike the V1, the actual with the grain stroke is kind of inefficient. It really didn't do very much. So I like that. It definitely has a little bit more blade fill to it, and they have gone in and removed any the suction fill is definitely different. I feel like it definitely still feels unique, and I don't want to call that out. I've heard so many people say, "Oh, there's no suction. The suction's gone." It still has a very specific fill, and I think people that are going into it thinking it doesn't have any suction fill are going to be kind of misled, and I don't want to do that here. I want to be honest and transparent with you guys. It has a very specific skin fill, but the skin fill is not bad. It feels like a modern razor. It doesn't feel like the ones that you like. It doesn't feel like just your average, atypical. I'm just calling it what it is. It doesn't feel like you're just standard everyday razor, right? It feels unique. It feels modern. It feels like modified, and it feels improved to me. I like this a lot. The shave today, let that speak for itself. It is close, it is comfortable, it is absolutely to the bone. We're grabbing a little water here. I have the time, we have the time together today. Let's check it out for its fullest. It was an awesome shave. Again, beautifully done. I am so glad that Jake went in and improved the original design by increasing the lather bar, by adding a little bit less metal to it, right? By removing that metal and kind of shaping and streamlining the razor. The razor's lighter, it's more nimble, it's so much more ergonomic in the hand, and not only all of those things, but it's approachable, right? It's pretty affordable. Honestly, if you really look at the price point at $75, yes, it's still like flinchable, where you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to spend that kind of money, but at the same time, it's a fully stainless steel, gonna last your lifetime kind of razor for under $100, beautifully fabricated, and something you can be proud of and really appreciate and love. I think this is awesome. Three-piece design is never going out, right? It's timeless. The blades are available worldwide, and honestly, they're a lot cheaper than anything else out there. So I am a strong advocate for the hobby of the craft and for razors like this, and I love that they've gone in and improved the design, at least in my opinion. They really have done something unique and something that works. Awesome shaver. Really, really, really love this a lot. This thing's awesome. Now, again, this is like more of like their raw material finish. So some people buying this may say to themselves, you know, I might want it nicer. And I kind of can understand that. I think it would look really, really cool, polished up and like mirrored out. I think mirrored would just look gorgeous. But this is not the mirrored like offering, right? This is their standard machined option. And I think it still is just a performer, 100%. Oh my goodness, that's close. Comfortable. I'm saying it right now. That belongs underneath the rainbow with a pot of gold. That is a shaver that is going to just really wow anybody I think that picks it up. I like that a lot. I like it so much. I'm going to continue using it for the next little while, actually. I really, really, really like this. Let me know in the comments below what you would like to see the razor go head-to-head against. I really want to see it like compete with the Henson and maybe with the original V1. And I want to try swapping the parts together just for fun to see how it shaves. But let me know if you think of anything else that you'd like to see the razor go head-to-head with. Thank you so much again for being here. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Massive thanks and a huge shout out again to Jake and to yourselves for being here. Awesome, awesome razor and great, fantastic days shave. I'm so excited to have had you here. And until I see y'all again, suits out.